the other teams did. We know how Rogue did, but I want to see exactly how many kills they got. Wow! Jayla, are you seeing this? I did not even realize they got double-digit kills. And then look at this. This is what's so shocking to me, is the second place only has 1 kill. What? How is that possible? Rogue has 10 kills, and Brazucas coming in second place had 1, so you were right. Like you said, they completely ratted. Well, as we've been saying all day, though, it's going to be a combination of the placement and the kills that help. So 10, awful lot of kills, but then look down here. This is another really cool thing. Sentinels also has 10 kills. JLo, what about these standings, the game 1 results, the top 10 finishers from game 1, what about this is really compelling to you?
The fact that Brazucas is actually able to rat to second place is actually amazing, considering it was just a solo teammate that was in the midst of TSM and Rogue going at it, and I believe we had one other team going at it there, and they were able to stay hidden that entire time. That's actually amazing. TSM performed really well. They've been struggling a little bit with the past tournaments, but I'm also hopeful for them as well too.
Do you think that this is a performance that Brazucas can keep up? Like, do you think that is a viable strategy? I think, was it Onset that kept calling it that rattergy? Do you think that's something that they can keep up for the remaining 4 matches of the day?
I wouldn't recommend ratting out games and hoping to win off of that. I hope that we see something exciting from them. It is amazing that they were able to make it that far with just 1 guy, but getting the kill points are pretty important, just like getting the placement points. So hopefully we see them putting more numbers on the board.
Yeah, well, what we saw from the EMEA region this morning was dead inside constantly. Well, most matches getting quite a few kills, especially that first match right out of the gate, getting a ton of kills, and that eventually helped them take it very, very far in the standings. They weren't number 1 in the standings at the end, but they still finished very, very well. Let's take a look at some of the other highlights from that match. There were a lot of really tense moments, a lot of great moments. So let's see what our teams had in store for us. I remember this one with Nice Wig, this play. What did you think of this, Jayla?
One, I think that just Nice Wig is a phenomenal player. The fact that he can do the things that he does on controller is amazing. Unfortunately, in this clip, they were trying to hold down the trailer, which is pretty hard to do, especially if your Walton ult gets taken out, which they were just pushed. This is a situation where actually, this is when they killed the South American team that they pushed in the trailer, but then they held it and it wasn't able to hold it very well. Here we have Sentinels here. They were kind of fragging out too. I'm pretty happy with their performance, and this is one of the final moments with Rogue. When they were taking some shots at TSM in there, but they decided to back off and hold behind a rock with the ult. Unfortunately, Albert Lily got taken out here because he was distracted by trying to fight another team. But Rogue played that really well, played positioning really well, and made sure that everybody took damage before they actually went in and finished everybody off.
Well, it's been a lot of compelling gameplay so far, and it's only been 1 match. I'm very eager to see what happens with the rest of the teams, how far Rogue is going to take this, what is going to happen with that rattergy. But we also want to hear what you guys have to say. I know me and Jayla are sitting here just talking your ears off, but we want to hear from you as well. So please do us a favor, tweet us at PlayApex and use the hashtag ALGS. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you thought of Rogue's performance during that first match, and if you think that they have the stamina to keep that up and keep getting those 10 bombs and even maybe higher amounts of kills as the day goes on. And of course, check out the YouTube channel Play Apex Compete, where you can pick up a ton of top plays, a ton of top tips, anything you would want or need from the realm of competitive Apex. But speaking of competitive Apex, we do have 4 more matches for you today. So with that, I am going to leave you in the very capable hands of my friends Bravo and Fallout right after this.
Lenovo Legion. Gaming PCs that are stylish on the outside and savage on the inside. Lenovo Legion is the official PC and monitor of Apex Legends Global Series.
Hey, thanks so much, Jess and Jayla. Bravo alongside Fallout to call the action here for North America. We just saw a fantastic game number 1 in Fallout. Not going to lie, we have some amazing stories coming into this first Super Regional for the Americas, and the games are only going to get better from here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Rogue with a very big game number 1, especially after some quals that were kind of up and down. It was a bit of a roller coaster for Rogue. They're able to work their way, kind of squeak their way through quals. A couple of rat opportunities for them where they're able to play for placement. They made it here. That's what matters the most. And they start off strong with a 20-plus kill game in game number 1. You hear the hype and passion that listed in as well. So a strong start from them. A team that we're used to starting strong in game 1 is Complexity. They got taken out early and got 0 points there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do and bouncing back here in game number 2.
You make a great point there, Paul, and I actually wanted to highlight it. I'm so happy. If you're a Rogue fan, you're going to be so happy. I'm just happy to see them kind of performing, because if you didn't catch yesterday's qualifiers, they placed 9th in their semifinal and 8th place in their final. Now, you can make the argument that they were definitely on the harder side of the bracket for that final, but as our third-ranked team in the ALGS overall, you expect big things from them, and certainly impressed with what we saw from Rogue in game number 1.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll see how they continue here in game 2 after being up and down yesterday. Of course, you need consistency. That is the most important name of this game. Of course, Gambit was incredibly consistent in our European or EMEA finals. We're going to see Rogue keep up that consistency here. Taking a look at drop spots, it looks like Fragment East is going to be a hot zone, and guess what? TSM is going to have Fragment uncontested. That was a key storyline coming into this Americas final, is will TSM get contested in Fragment by the likes of a South American team, where really a lot of these top players and top teams from North America aren't entirely familiar with where these South American teams land and drop. It looks like TSM will have the likes of Fragment uncontested, and meanwhile, it looks like BRT, also known as the Bazookas team, who got 2nd place in the last one, will have Trainyard completely themselves, actually trading it with Firo, another South American team. You gotta wonder, Bravo, if Team Liquid was here, how interesting this fight would be.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're going to see Firo. Depends on if they go south through Mine Pass. Looks like they're going to nope out of that train yard battle, and Bazooka's team is going to be the ones that stay in train through that. And I want to point out also in the scoreboard, just in case you didn't catch it, Bazooka's team, by ratting out that 2nd place, they've actually brought themselves, despite only having 1 kill in that game, they've brought themselves to 5th with some big placements points coming in from that 2nd place. So right now they are poised to put on quite a show here. If you caught the EMEA matches earlier today, you did see that the Middle Eastern teams not only finished in the top 10, but also put a win on the board. The question is, can we see the South American teams also do that now against 16 North American teams in this lobby?
Yeah, I was incredibly impressed with Middle East and Africa in our first Super Regional. Of course, if you're just watching competitive Apex, this is the first time we've had what we call Super Regional finals. Last time around, and for the first 6 online tournaments, we only saw Europe, we saw North America, we saw, of course, different regions across the globe play against just those little mini regions, if you will. Now, regions are being combined. This is the Americas, where we have the likes of South America also competing. It's been mostly the Brazil and Argentina show. Of course, Capital Esports, who we were just on board with a moment ago, has 1 Chilean on the squad as well. But Bazooka's team from Brazil, Tenga from Argentina, Team Firo, 2 Brazilians and an Argentinian on that squad, of course, speaking 2 different languages as well. So I'm interested to hear if they are speaking in English or a combination of both. For the first time on the Americas side of things, we do have some multinational action above and beyond just Canada and the US, which we've typically seen in North America.
Yeah, and as you heard alluded to earlier in the show, certainly now with only the top 8 advancing from each of their semifinals, as we take a look here at the Sentinels and sorting for just a moment to see exactly where they're setting up here on station building and looking pretty comfortable with height on the roof. Lots of opportunities to move, and also now 303 is going to be the one that is going to be moving on your screen as well.
Yeah, 303 Esports, a Denver-based esports organization, saw a 7th place finish with their European squad. They're looking for their North American squad to do just as well here. Scissors and Co. are no strangers to the finals. We've seen them in so many finals before. And then, of course, there's TSM. Again, if you're new to Apex, TSM, the most dominant team in competitive Apex history. They won 5 straight championships in major tournaments before finally losing an online tournament number 3. They're looking to bounce back, and they've continued to stay consistent with 2nd and 3rd place finishes outside of that. Besides 1 absence in 1 online tournament, they've been near perfect. Another team that's been incredibly consistent, it's Sola Fide. 2nd place 2 times in our online tournaments so far. So really, TSM and Sola Fide, in my eyes, the most consistent of our North American teams so far.
Yeah, TSM going to move north through Rain Tunnel, maybe even set up a little bit of a kind of back to zone there to see if anyone could come through Skyhook North as well. They're going to make sure that their backs are cleared and hold down background as things are, as you see, converging essentially on that survey camp station. Now, we've seen this in ALGS play many times before, and it's not surprising to see so many pings on the mini maps that are coming in there, on the trailers, on the and also on the buildings that are right around that station. That is certainly where teams are expecting this one to end. Fallout.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So teams are going to be starting to rotate. Thank goodness for that Pathfinder meta, where we get to not only the teams get the beacons, but we get to see where the next ring is going to be and help to tell the story of how things are going down. We've seen, oh, it looks like Complexity here, leveraging that Bloodhound, which is a new meta that we have not seen before in competitive Apex. They're opting for Bloodhound instead of Watson. Again, that's something we have never seen. We haven't seen a team not run Watson on their squad in quite some time in competitive Apex. You like to see the shake-up here, playing into their playstyle for Complexity.
I was talking to Reptar last night after the games. First of all, if you have not watched Complexity's matches from their qualifier yesterday, I believe Lou is the only one that still has the VOD up. You need to watch them wrecking in the quarterfinals. A 36-kill win to start it off. You got to hear how much fun this team is having with this with this Bloodhound comp. Not only is Reptar 11 playing him, but you can just hear how Mon and Lou absolutely love playing around it, and they are just flying at teams, picking up huge amounts of kills, and now putting it to the test. Reptar said, the real question will be how does it play against the toughest lobbies, and that's what we're finding out today now with this new comp.
Yeah, you love to see it in the qualification rounds, and it was entertaining, that is for sure. The largest or highest kill game we have ever seen, or I have ever seen, from Complexity with a 35-plus kill game, but now they're looking to do the exact same thing. It looks like it's going to be a good start for them. They take out a full squad. That's their first squad wipe of this one. Something tells me that's not going to be their last, as we know Complexity plays so incredibly aggressive, and there was a little bit of a debate and discussion on Twitter around, hey, is it better to play for kill points, for placement points? Are there multiple play styles, or do you have to play for placement? I think Complexity is trying to defy those odds and show that an aggressive play style can work in competitive Apex. If you're a fan of fast-paced, in-your-face type of gameplay, well, they're running Bloodhound, and Complexity is your team.
And not only is it a comp that's working for them, but they're even playing kind of like the anti-rotate comp. We've seen them in-game not go for end zones that they knew so that they could rack up KP, taking routes that we've never seen teams take. So it's really exciting to see what they're going to be able to do. And like I said, it's amazing to listen to these guys play the game together, because you can tell just how much fun they are having, especially in the qualifiers yesterday. Make sure you catch some of those games. It really suits their playstyle so well, Fallout, especially because obviously Reptar hits those scans as he approaches POIs, but also whenever they need to find the final kill, someone who snuck away, a solo that got away, dropped down from height, things like that, he's hitting those scans to find those players, so they're finishing those kills and getting the full wipes when they want. So I'm really excited to see what Complexity can do today, but also now taking a look at Shiny, Muffins, and BCJ here over at Epicenter.
That's true. Yeah, that's the difference that Bloodhound makes. Your ability to get kills a little bit faster. We also were just on board with Annie Moweed, Hundreds, and Midnights, and this is their second time qualifying for a grand final as a team. You love to see it. Annie, of course, representing our great female community in Apex Legends, representing incredibly well. 2 times she's placed in the top 20. We're excited to see what that squad can do. Now on board with NRG, our winners of our last tournament. NRG has just been on a roll in esports, and of course Apex is a big part of that. They're going to find one rat. It's going to be Eternal J from Firo. So our South American squad, Firo, is one of our 2 squads that get eliminated from this one.
Absolutely excited to see what NRG can do. I mean, everyone caught their performance online tournament number 6 for North America, taking first place overall over Solafide and TSM in that top 3. So certainly a team that we're going to be keeping a very close eye on today as well.
Yeah, and I love that decision actually from NRG, recognizing there was a rat. That's an easy kill. You can get 1 kill point, and actually sending their Pathfinder to be the one to go find them, especially over in Thermal Station where there's a lot of elevation. You want to send your Pathfinder, which allows you to queue out and grapple your way out to safety, which is exactly what they did, letting Nathan pick up that last kill, and it's 1 kill point picked up for NRG. Meanwhile, the McCarthy brothers, twin brothers from the Seattle area, playing with the BCJ. BCJ, and I talked about him a lot in the last tournament. I got to hype him up again. A multi-genre, multi-game top player and competitor. He has returned to Apex Legends to play in qualifiers and has qualified for each tournament since making his return, since playing with the McCarthy Bros. They've really emerged as a top team that shows up when it matters the most in tournament time. I'm excited to see if they can break a top 3 finish here in this one.
Absolutely. Now also taking a look at the side of Smile. Here's Petty Boss on your screen, as they're still going to be in Skyhook, playing a little bit closer to the edge of that zone, but just holding, trying to catch anyone who might try to make that rotate, the same rotation that they will eventually need to make as well.
That's Exactly right. So it looks like 2 teams, Smile, and then of course we did see Humayan. That's the team with Adney, Midnight Sin, and Co. that we saw earlier that are currently sitting in Skyhook. Of course, Skyhook known for quite a few buildings, quite a bit of real estate, and the opportunity with that Watson to kind of pitch up a fence or pitch up a tent, if you will, and post up. Of course, if depending on where this next ring goes, they may have to rotate, but it looks like Skyhook is quite safe for now. So they're going to be content just kind of claiming their real estate, claiming their buildings, and setting up. Not going to see a lot of action here between these 2 teams until that ring collapses in my eyes, but hopefully I'm proven wrong. I'd like to see some action here. I know Complexity was on Refinery just near the other side of this mountain before, so not sure where Complexity is currently sitting. That's a team that likes to play aggressive in those fights, and meanwhile we're going to jump on board with Rogue, another team that's known to play aggressive, snipe down one of our few controller players and one of the top controller players in Apex Legends. We're on board with Rogue.
Absolutely. Take a look at Sweet there on the tower for just a moment. They're able to do just a little bit of scouting, going to fly back as well, just to see what he might be able to find if he's going to rotate back with the squad. But now back on board actually with Complexity here. They've made it into Survey, and right now holding in Survey, and they know that based on the next zone, they're going to need to rotate out of Survey closer to that train station. But right now, making sure they make a careful road in. You know, it'd be great to get a listening ready with that Complexity side, because as I said, it's a blast to hear them play this comp. Excited to see what they can do in this game.
Yeah, that would be great to see if Complexity decides to play a little bit aggressive here. On board now with Complexity. What's interesting is 18 squad's still alive. Complexity's finally going to find their prey. It looks like a team of 2, maybe a team of 3. It's a couple good shots put in from Lou on the far left as Gibraltar. We'll see if Monsoon and Reptar can now go clean up, recognizing that they have the advantage here. Beast of the Hunt activated for Bloodhound. He's going to see pure red. He's going to get some great damage in as well. Also gets to give his team the communications from tracks that he's able to see. And this is the Bloodhound effect. Again, we haven't seen much of it, but Complexity is dangerous with this new Bloodhound comp.
Oh, absolutely. They are not afraid, and they are flying at players like we said. I mean, you can imagine with players like Lou and Mon on your team. Then you have Reptar in Beast of the Hunt. Are you kidding me? Going up against that team when they have eyes on your every single move. So much damage still coming in from them as well. The really only thing they have to wait for is just a little bit of the timing on the cues. If you know, you're going to hear Lou say, don't go yet, don't go yet, you know, waiting for his cue, and you're going to hear Reptar say the same thing, waiting on his scans, and that's really how they're timing these pushes around those, and there it goes again. Let's go ahead now and get into a listen in with this side of Complexity, because we are ready to hear them.
10.
I'm on the far right here. Do you see me?
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 5 seconds on scan. They know we're here. They're looking for us.
Broke Wraith.
Yep, I'm scanned. There's all 3.
Yep, I'm up here. They don't know.
You're gonna do initial. Me and Lou are climbing on them.
One says 60 jib purple.
He bubbled. I'm bubbling as well. Oh, me, boys.
Yep, I'm pushing.
I died so
Crack
quick.
Watson. Watson's 1. Wraith is cracked, come on. Wraith is cracked, it's all you.
I'm blocking her. Got a Q. Go for it.
Come to me. Oh, you're good.
Great job.
Nice. You're so good. Jesus.
Sorry. Oh,
I'm bubbling. I don't have bubble. I got double pumped, so I'm sorry.
No,
I went to the bubble. Yeah, and I thought you guys were with me, and I just got fucking.
No, you
I got
were.
double tapped in the massive. I died instantly.
Yeah, I know. You were just a couple seconds ahead of me.
I shield up and everything, man. I don't even know what to do there.
No, you're good.
And quite a bit of excitement there coming out of Mon. If you've watched streams, you're no stranger. However, that might have been a little bit of a wake-up call, if not. But what even more of a wake-up call is the way that they played that. And to be honest, I did not expect that early in the game. It's pretty rare, actually, to see them go down to only 1 player alive. And you heard Reptar gassing up Monsoon, saying, "You are so good in that 1v1." He closes out, but. It's been great to watch them. Of course, we'll keep an eye on them through the rest of the games, but definitely great to get a listen in with Complexity here, how they kind of move around the map. Such fast decision-making in this new comp, but now getting a chance to look at Brazuca's team once again. As a reminder, that's a South American squad in 5th place after game 1.
Yeah, South American squad that was able to rat their way to 2nd place in game number 1. And again, those are new to competitive Apex. When we say rat, we mean you're able to just kind of hide, stay alive, and sneak your way to a top 2, top 3 finish. It's exactly what Brazuca's team did against the likes of TSM, Noble, and Rogue in game number 1. Now they have all 3 members alive, so we get to see what they're made of. And if South America can continue to roll here in our America's Super Region, this is the first Super Region that we've had as part of the Apex Legends Global Series Summer Circuit. This is the kickoff of that Summer Circuit. Drops going to go down, sniped down already, taken down. So Rogue, we talked about consistency, and it looks like Sweet, the last member alive right here, doesn't have the banner of sniped down, not going to be able to get the banner of dropped either. It's going to be all up to Rogue to try and rat his way to a top finish as well, but he is getting hunted.
Yeah, Sweet needs to be careful. Forced to Q. He's in this low ground. Going to try to fly up the tower. We'll see if he can get there. No! Rogue will go down just like that. And a great game 1 performance from them. A huge one, to be honest. It puts them with 22 points on the leaderboard. However, a game 2, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and make sure that they put the points on the board for games 3 through 5. They certainly can do that, but it will be a tall order against a lobby like this.
Exactly right. Petty Boss with a smart flank. That's going to be Team Smile. Get some good damage on, but look, the defensive bombardment is there. Finally, the beacon's going to go down, which is clutch. Or sorry, the ultimate going to go down for the Watson, which is going to be clutch and help them stay alive against that Gibraltar ult. But Petty Boss is rock in a hard place, trying to do as much damage as possible. He's going to get taken out. Smile gets eliminated from this one by the likes of Crummy, Sanders, and Co. So, in the end, it will be the Smile squad getting eliminated from this one.
And look at that now, so take a look also at Silver Fox. Once again, Noko, Zach, and Noct. The third party to a lot of those Skyhook battles that just happened, as they're going to take some time to heal as well. But tough set of events for Smile. They were in 12th place coming into this game.
Yeah, look at this rotation. It's going to be a tough one. There is a crucial choke point, of course. Noct, No Coco, and Zach in a solid spot. They own all the Watson fences here, and they can gatekeep this if they choose to. Every other team going to have to choose to either go through that choke or work around the mountain. So keep an eye on that circle rotation. What teams decide to do here. Trying to destroy the Watson fence is going to take some damage as Zach, which means that the enemy team knows that they are there, but it looks like they will be uncontested on this rotation. Meanwhile, No Coco's buddy, Nicewig, picking up some kills at the top right of your screen as we see Nicewig and Bowser and Co. continue to dominate and continue with a strong performance after game 1.
Yep, you're going to see these guys in Silver Fox just take their time here. A little bit of heals coming in for Noct as well. They don't need to push off immediately. You can see how much time they have. There's no reason to force this battle. Obviously, there's so many teams that are already on those trailers and on those crates, and they need to be very careful. As teams, actually, I was going to say, are going to be flying down to them. And now Noko looking for a swap. He gets that, but pressure coming on.
And it's actually going to be Yeet Squad. It's going to be Nicewig's team that are looking to take out No Coco. No Coco and Noct, the last 2 members alive of this one. Looks like he will be able to shield swap successfully. Meanwhile, Panders, Noble, and the Team Noble Black Squad that placed top 4 in the last game are going to survive here. Revive's going to come through on tech, and just like that, Noble continues and stays alive in this one. 8 squads remaining in a beautiful, beautiful play from the Pathfinder. Wow.
Lions flying in, though, and didn't exactly know. Very much a blind grapple there, and he's going to get melted immediately, and had to make a very tough decision. There's Noko. He will go down. Noct is the only one for this squad.
Yep,
he's desperately trying to find a swap in there. Based on what we're seeing, it looks like that's not going to come. So right now, just desperately hiding behind a rock. Going to try to Phoenix behind a teammate's shield as well. But right now, forced to Q. We'll have to see if he can get out of this fallout.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Trying to get the movement speed from his ultimate. Finally going to get taken out. And that's going to be all she wrote for Noko and Noct, of course, another one of our controller players in this one. Bowser currently down, but Six and Nicewig sitting with gold shields. They're going to get fast heal. Sorry, not fast heal, but double heal for each syringe and shield cell that they pop. Nicewig and Bowser currently down. Let's see if they go for the revive, or will they opt instead to use that knockdown shield? It looks like the latter, as they're just trying to survive, heal up, and stay alive in this one.
Absolutely, and they need to continue moving up. They've got a little bit of time once again, but need to be ready to make this push. Now 6 squads left, just like that, as we look at the TSM squad. Once again, really not the strongest armor, but of course often a position that we see TSM fighting from, because they are such an early rotate team, and the team that can definitely fight with no radar. But here we go now, Complexity on the push, and Reptar is in the Hound Hunt once again.
That's exactly right. We've seen it time and time again. Here comes the scan. He's going to get all types of intel, finds 3 bodies, calls them out, spots them. The amount of intel and comms for a team like Complexity, which prides themselves in being a comm-first and aggressive team, one of the best communicating teams in the game, that is crucial to be able to get that intel from Bloodhound. Meanwhile, Nicewig is the kill leader with 7 kills, and that's just him. What a performance coming through from the Controller All-Star in Apex Legends, one of the best and biggest streamers that we have in our Apex community. It's Nicewig.
keep in mind, Yeet Squad already in 6th place, so they are going to be looking great after these 2 games, but also looking at Solifide here as they do have height, and they know that they're going to need to make the move, so it's actually going to be Pride who's taking a lot of damage, is forced to TP back, and they're going to need to heal as well as they get ready to make that move.
I believe that is Yeet Squad right in front of them that they're going to spot out here. So Solifide, a 3 versus 3 against the Yeet Squad. Will they fight it? They're kind of sandwiched right now. Yep, and it is Nicewig, Bowser, and co. with some great shields. They have an Evo shield and 2 gold shields. They're going to have the healing advantage and, of course, the shield advantage in this fight in terms of resources. Always want to understand your resource in terms of resource management. Meanwhile, Beast of the Hunt activated again for the Bloodhound and Complexity. They have an opportunity to just rain on the parade right now of the Yeet Squad and Solifide. They can pick up a few kills. It looks like Surreal is going to get taken out by Repcover. Look at the nade! All Complexity at the top right of your screen is they are going to pick up a kill on Bowser, a kill on Nicewig, and Complexity is popping off with 3 squads remaining.
Absolutely. Look at this. It looks like they are poised to take this. They're going to be flying in now. It looks like Abdulali and Rep taking big damage. Hal, the only one left here. He needs to pray that he can get the right timing on this battle here, taking a lot of damage as well.
And look at the Bloodhound effect. Right after picking up 5 or 6 kills, they're able to take out 2/3 of TSM, one of the best teams, if not the best team in Apex Legends. Hal now the last member alive. 3 squads remain. Alberlelli's going to bleed out. Bowser's going to bleed out. Kill leader is Monsoons. He says, nice try, Nicewig. That title is mine. And then through the barrel, Monsoon's going to connect for another. 1 squad left. Complexity is hunting. They smell blood. They're going to find it. And that's going to be a victory coming through for Complexity. What a performance from this squad with the Bloodhound new meta.
How can you not enjoy what Complexity is doing right now? They are bringing the Bloodhound meta full strength. Like I said, talking to Reptar last night, this is how they want to play. This suits their play style so much better than Reptar on Watson, and it is showing. I mean, you saw right in the end, Monsoon takes the kill leader position as well. I think he ended with 10. Who knows what the other guys ended with? It is a pleasure to watch what these guys are doing right now because they are shaking up the meta. And, you know, there was even heard Matt Pickett talking this week about any team that isn't playing Watt is trolling. But you know, Complexity proving that you can make big changes, and they have brought the Hound here to the Super Regional.
Yeah, that's so incredibly true. And honestly, if you think about it, it makes sense. It's logical. Watson is almost the antithesis to their playstyle. Watson is meant to be a position-based, rotation-based, find a tent and pitch it type of champion or legend, as you're able to place fences and just kind of post up. So Bloodhound fits their play style so much better, and it shows with a solid game number 2. I can't wait to see the amount of kills they racked up total as a team. A lot to discuss with this new comp, that's for sure, Bravo.
I mean, absolutely. You know, on set right now, we're talking to him as well, and in mentioning that this could be one of the highest point totals we have seen in a game ever in a finals. Like I said, they had a 36-kill quarterfinal yesterday, and what's amazing is in these tournaments, you hear them asking, how many kills do you have? How many kills do you have? Wondering if they're going to drop a 30 bomb or a 36 bomb, or who knows what we're going to see in this game. But Mon ending with at least 10, I believe, and it's pretty incredible. They are shaking things up, and man, they have performed so well today. It's been pretty amazing, but I cannot wait to see what the rest of this tournament holds to wrap up that last game and to get us ready for game number 3. It's back over to Jess and Jayla.
Thank you so much, Bravo and Fallout. Wow, what a match. Let's talk about Complexity. Let's talk about Monsoon. So there's a couple things going on that I really want to hear your thoughts on, Jayla. So when the Observer first switched over to Complexity, I believe it was the first time we saw Complexity in that match, you remarked that, oh, they're running a Bloodhound, and I think you said they're cocky. So can you talk a little bit more about what you thought of that Bloodhound pick when we first observed Complexity?
I still can't even believe that they're running Bloodhound. They know they're amazing players and they know what fits their play style. So seeing them choose Bloodhound, I was surprised at first, but then watching them play through the game and seeing how they used him, it's not even a surprise anymore. These guys know they're good. They're out to get kills. They're on the hunt, literally on the hunt with Bloodhound. I'm super impressed, and I know we talk about people shifting the meta, and Caustic is usually part of the conversation. Bloodhound has really never been a serious part of the conversation, but I think that if teams are wanting to play like Complexity, they could honestly create a new meta with Bloodhound in it.
I think you're right, and after all, that is basically how metas evolve over time. Is one team runs one strat, starts dominating with it, it works really well. Other teams learn from that, and then There's a couple ways it could go, but either it's working out for Complexity so far. I also wanted to talk about that amazing 1v3 that Monsoon had. It was just phenomenal. Do you think that was the pivotal moment that really clutched up the match for them?
Honestly, I've seen Monsoon do stuff like this a lot. He's a great player. He's somebody that if I see, I'm running from. I'm not surprised that he clutched that 1v3. I believe he could do it again many times. I don't think that's the reason why they won. I think the reason why they won is just because like the whole team in general are just great players. So I don't know. I still am trying to comprehend like what just happened. I'm still shook on the Bloodhound fact right now. Honestly, these guys really impressed me.
Well, while you wrap your noodle around that, let's go ahead and take a look at what the other teams besides Complexity were doing, and also to see how many kills Complexity got, because we know it was quite a lot. They got 16. Jayla, is that the highest number of kills we've seen in a single match so far now?
Today, I mean, today, for sure, because EU, the highest kills I saw was 15. So this is the highest kills that we've definitely seen today. Not surprised at all by the number of kills that they got. Not surprised at all by the number that Heat Squad got. But them two combined got 30 kills, which is literally half of the lobby. That's actually insane. I'm so impressed by these guys. I'm so impressed.
That is actually insane, just like you said. Well, let's take a look at how many points those kills netted them. We're going to look at the overall standings. Of course, that puts Complexity nicely into second place, and Yeet Squad is bringing up the first place. They've got 32 points. Second, as I said, is Complexity with 28 points, and in third, Rogue, 23. You know, it's funny, because Rogue played so well. I was impressed by their 10 kills, and their first place they got in the first match, but wow, is the competition steep. I don't even know what to say, how to process this. Teams are really going to have to step up their game here in the Americas region, here at the Super Regional #1 along the way of the Summer Circuit. Jayla, is there anything else about those overall standings that was really interesting to you?
Just seeing Geek Squad and Complexity at the top, it's showing that the people that are being aggressive and that the people that are getting the kills are definitely the ones that are making it further. I think that's going to shake things up. People usually seem to be playing for placement and rotations and stuff like that, but with them literally fragging out and getting these points for kills, I feel like it's putting the heat under all the other teams, because I know TSM is usually used to, like, you know, rotating early, like getting loot and rotating early, getting their placement. But if teams are going for kills like this, especially with Complexity with Bloodhound, I think that people might start rethinking the way that they're playing the game.
We're absolutely not going to see, I don't think, too much more ratting, too much more rattergy like we saw from Brazucas, with that lone wolf standing toward the end, taking, I think, a second place finish. That's definitely going to be a greater emphasis on kills. And in fact, the casters pointed out during that match that during one of the circles, there were only 7 teams remaining, when earlier around the same time in the game, around the same circle, during the EMEA region, we had a match and there were like 17 teams still left. So I wouldn't know if that has anything to do with maybe the play styles across the different regions or anything like that. But anyway, we saw so much great action from Complexity, but I want to see once again those final moments for Complexity. So let's take a look.
Like, that was literally going to be a fucking massive for us.
Let's start wide wrapping right. Come with me.
I have scan in 5. I have scan in 5.
3.
Wait for scan.
Wait for scan. Wait for scan. Wait for scan. All right, I'm scanning now.
He's over here. He's hit fucking 23. It's 1-1. I'm pushing.
1-1. Yeah. Push right. Get the kill. Make sure
He's cracked. He's cracked.
I hit him 98.
Dead.
Right.
Pushing here. South. Last guy. He has red armor. Get ready. He's hit 25.
I hit him 28. Cracked him.
Let's go, baby. Good job. Let's go, dude.
So we've talked a ton about that, the Bloodhound pick. Let's also talk about the rest of their comp. They had that Jibby and that Wraith. And Wraith in particular is a legend that I feel like we see showing up on nearly every single comp. So what do you think it is about Wraith that is making her so viable during this time?
Um, Teams usually use her for rotation, so I don't think you'll really see anybody getting rid of her because when they're stuck in a tough position and they can't get out of it, no other legend is going to offer them a way out where they can't take any damage while escaping a situation. So Race Portal is a very big part of why they keep her on the team instead of other legends.
That is a great point because, we see some other legends that also do have nice escape. Of course, Octane can always, shoot himself up and run away, but only Wraith provides that escape for the entire team as well in the form of the portal. But those complexity plays were only from one team. Let's take a look and see what other teams have made some amazing plays. We've got some highlights ready for you. NRG, another team that were playing quite well, but they haven't really made much headway in the overall standings yet, have they?
They haven't really, honestly. They won the last tournament, so I was definitely looking to see them perform a little bit better. They haven't really done well this time, but there's still more games left to be played, and that can always be turned around. You never know who's going to come out on top. There is a significant amount of points in between them and the others, but hopefully they can at least get top 10. Here we have Nicewig, who was initially the kill leader that right before Monsoon killed him. Nicewig was fragging out. This is one of his best performances during the ALGS. They didn't do very well last time, but they placed really well in the quals, and now I feel like they're out for blood in this competition.
I feel like you're right. I feel like a lot of teams are out for blood today in these competitions, which honestly I love to see. I love seeing the high action games. When I'm playing, I admit I do play like a rat just a little bit more, but when it comes to seeing the guys that actually know what they're doing and play at a really, really high level, I think it's fun to watch all of those kills racking up, and that is definitely shaping up to be what we have in store for us today. But hey, if you guys have opinions, I feel like you might. We'd like to hear those opinions. So remember, you can always tweet us at PlayApex. Tell us what you think of the competition so far, who you think is going to go all the way, how many kills is going to be the next amount of top kills we see in the next match. And remember to use that hashtag ALGS to make sure we see it. You might even get a tweet of yours read out here on the broadcast if you are lucky and if you had something just so deliciously interesting to say. And of course, be sure to check out our new YouTube channel, which is Play Apex to Compete. So youtube.com/PlayApexCompete if you want to see a lot more great video footage of high-level competitive plays. But we have some more high-level competitive plays lined up, ready to go in the form of match 3. So now I'm going to hand you over to our casters, Onset and Rainday.
Lenovo Legion. Gaming PCs that are stylish on the outside and savage on the inside. Lenovo Legion is the official PC and monitor of Apex Legends Global Series.
Well, now it's our turn, Rain Day, to have our say on game number 3. But before we do get into game number 3, let's just take a second to take in what just happened in game number 2, because I've got one thing to say, and it's quite simply, wow.
I gotta say, it reminds me of the Baja Boys who let the dogs out. That's really what I want to say right now, and I think we can hear the theme and the fun that goes along with that as well. Complexity, nothing complex about it. They're running at you with Bloodhound, and you love to see it. This is a total shakeup for how people are expecting to play. No one is expecting to get pushed no matter what, especially in these lobbies in this type of situation. And so what Complexity is doing is they're saying our play style is more important than the meta. Our skill yes, is great, but now we have synergy to go along with that skill for a team that likes to move fast, to push you, to do what you don't think we're going to do, and always keep you on your toes. And Bloodhound has fit into their roster in such a beautiful way that it was really almost just like this symphony that we were able to watch, Mark. That's the best way I can describe it. Just a beautiful symphony hitting a crescendo, and the entire crowd was just speechless. Some people had tears in their eyes. It was a beautiful performance in Apex Legends.
It really was a wonderful, wonderful thing as we do get to look early on in our game number 3 at that Pathfinder beacon as well. You can see a little bit of survey camp being involved in that circle. So expect to see teams fighting around almost a similar area to what we did in that previous game as well. But already we're seeing battles going down. And it's one thing that we did note while we were watching the game is how aggressive these lobbies have been. Obviously, complexity have been a little bit of a catalyst as far as that is concerned. But in comparison to what we saw from the EMEA region, you know, there's been 7, 8 teams going into that 4th circle, whereas we were seeing sort of 15, 16, 17 making their way in a little bit earlier today.
You know, you bring up a great point in the idea of one team and their playstyle significantly impacting the way a lobby is structured as they head into the late game. To expand on that, when you look at anything like, you know, a huge movement of people or just one spark lighting an entire trail that leads to an eventual explosion of dynamite, I think complexity is serving as that party that's starting fights, willing to fight, and then causing other teams to hear those shots, understand that there are downs, and say, wait, we could third-party this. And even if it's just one, that ends up cascading throughout the map. The players who run away from that fight move in areas that then enter into other players' zones where they're looting, where they're still holding on to their area, maybe where they're setting up for in-game. And I think that really is what we're seeing here in North America. So that might be why we're getting faster lobbies, why we're seeing more fights early on. But I also think it's a lot more interesting to watch as we have to now see teams adapt to this different play style in Game 3 as points are becoming more and more important to try and stay in the top 5.
Yeah, adaptability is something that we talk about a lot in battle royales and having to manage the situations that you are given. And this one's kind of a little bit of a tidal wave in comparison to what a lot of teams are, you know, used to experiencing in these lobbies. A team completely changing the way that, you know, they're playing the game and they're approaching the game. And complexity, again, look at this, just hunting down this team that's trying to rotate away from them up this hill. And you just know that they're only going to be holding one key in this situation. And that is, of course, the W key. They're going to be chasing them down, trying to get these kills on the board. And again, it's just working for them.
And no fear, and that's one of the things that, you know, is different, because most situations like you or me or either players, they would take this portal and say, wait a second, maybe they got a thermite there, maybe they have a Watson pin. They've got all of the complexity still going through, still saying what's up, and this is the benefit of playing that aggressively. But there is also a negative to it. There is a risk to it if a team is understanding that now you are ultimately going to be aggressive no matter what. We're going to play around your unending aggression and set something up for you when you do take a little bit more of a risky play. Luckily, though, Reptar able to make it away with about 10 health, heal up with a Phoenix, and Monsoon and the rest of the Complexity boys patiently, but still definitely pursuing this team fight.
Well, let's see how Complexity find themselves out of this situation. Let's jump into the team comms with Team Complexity.
Just disengage us. Don't fuck these guys. Yeah, I'm lagging too. Just fuck this fight.
Yeah. I'm gonna look.
Heal up, Rep. They might try and push us. Yep, they are. On my head, on my head. He's on me, on me. He's on me.
He's one. Reloading. On my head.
Above you.
Bro, I'm lagging too hard to fight this, man. I'm lagging too hard. I'm literally lagging so hard.
I just rubber band and climbed me up on the rock, dude.
Dude, what the fuck? What is this?
This game fucking sucks.
Oh, Complexity lose that battle and they lose their heads momentarily as well. You can hear the comms. It's unfortunate circumstances for them, but again, trying to keep that aggression down, and you could hear the frustration in their voices. Obviously, things not quite going their way there.
And I think here's the thing, you know, when you see a game like that, you have to expect that there's going to be an avalanche of progressive natured occurrences. One being that when anyone sees or hears a Bloodhound scan, you're going to be a priority for them to get off the table. They know how effective you are. They know how deadly you are. If they have a chance to third-party poke, help a team kill you, that makes their ability to potentially win this lobby that much higher. And Nicewig coming in second place, Yeet Squad doing so well, Bowser in 6. I think being able to third-party that and just approach that with more damage, that was something that was a given considering how well that they performed. But I also just think it was a bit of confidence, a bit of, obviously they say some technical issues, so we'll never really be able to be sure we weren't playing for them. But again, that shows the risk and potentially the reward on both sides of a play style like that.
So after a big game number 1, Complexity, unfortunately for them, won't be contributing too much to this lobby. They won't be contributing anything at all, as they are the first team to fall in our game number 3. And that's going to light up a lot of these teams who are fighting around that top spots as well. The likes of Yeet Squad, Rogue, who are, of course, watching now, Noble, TSM, who are in that top 5. All of those teams are now going to be aware that Complexity have fallen early. And I think that's just going to maybe calm down the lobby a little bit as well. Maybe think, you know, people are going to be thinking they can play the way they usually want to play on the map and not have to fear the fact that Complexity will be running at them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that is also, you're totally right. Now the only team officially down in the lobby, that is going to bring them to, you know, 19 squads and a different play style, I'm sure. Everyone knows that Complexity is not in. So let's head over to Desune, Jupertinsky, and Bowser, who have been having a bit of trouble themselves to kind of get into the rhythm and groove of things in this America's Super Regional. This team obviously representing Tenga, which is from Argentina, as we had mentioned earlier in Game 1 when we were casting, and holding up nicely in Epicenter, blue shields to their name. So a much better start than we've seen over some of the previous games.
So we're going to see a little bit of calm in the lobby. 18 squads remaining as round 1 is about to close in around 30 seconds time or so. And this is the team that are currently leading the leaderboard. It was only momentarily we got to look in on Yeet Squad there, who are around the epicenter, but another team that's going to be looking pretty good to set up in this tunnel, where they were trying to rotate from a little bit earlier near train yard as well in that last game. Pretty similar path for them to be taking. It's, of course, Silver Fox, Zach, Noko, and Not. And this is a team who have had a little bit of a change around in their composition from time to time since they have been, since they've come together as a 3. We saw Zach on the Wraith, we've seen Zach on the Watson. They've pretty much all had a go at different things. And Noko was playing Gibby for a bit. Now he is moved over to the Watson. It seems like they're trying to find a kind of comfort zone between the 3 players where they're comfortable to have the most success.
And you know what? It takes a lot to do that, as well as be committed to content creation, which we all know Noko is. Most of those players, I think, have turned on the stream at least once for sure. But, you know, the commitment to kind of putting in the extra time, not only for yourself, your brand, but also for your team. It means a lot of late nights. It means a lot of early mornings. And it cannot be underrepresented how much effort goes into that. And it seems to be a trend amongst the CLG guys as well. Nicewig and his squad coming in second, obviously, leading the leaderboard right now. And NRG, these guys winning last OT to kind of put NRG into a conversation piece after some very unfortunate starts and roster changes throughout their kind of competitive experience, especially with some of the best players from just a visual, mechanical perspective in Dizzy and Ace a long, long time ago, kind of setting themselves the standard in Apex. But now back in fine form here in the competitive scene, and Rocker looking to push this with the Havoc on set.
You can see NRG here, like you say. They're actually going to try and rotate ahead of this team, and this is something that maybe isn't talked enough about. If you see that opportunity to get ahead of teams who are fighting and get a rotation where you can then hold them out once that circle type starts to close in, you've got to take that opportunity. You've got to see those windows and obviously move through them when you do get that opportunity to do so. So I like that decision-making there from NRG, deciding to leave those fights, putting a few shots on, but seeing the opportunity to rotate as a stronger one than maybe picking up just a few KP along the way.
No Coco, knocked. Zach here moving in through tunnels. They've got 50 seconds before things start to move. 18 squads left after all the action we've seen, which was quite a bit early on, especially with the listen in. We only still have 18 squads in the lobby, so a relatively non-violent start for these teams, at least as far as the death count goes. And they will still be able to have a chance. And this lobby, I think, on set for the biggest portion of the conversation piece, not only for complexity, is you did so well, you're in a great position. Just, you know, next game come at it, you're still in prime spot to not only qualify, but take first overall. But I think for the rest of these teams who maybe said, wow, we did not get off to such a hot start. A lot of teams have made some big games so far. It's really opened the door for teams like Sentinels, for teams like TSM who haven't gotten the win yet but have stayed involved. Noble, who's been playing fantastically so far in the top 5 currently overall, to really say, okay, this is our chance maybe to really step in front, maybe take that lead and put ourselves in a position heading into the final games.
I think you raise a great point there as well that I can kind of elaborate on by saying the teams who end up coming out on top in these tournaments that we do have in Apex Legends are the most consistent ones. One big game does not win you a tournament, and Complexity have been an example of that in previous tournaments as well. Let's think of those Game 1 performances in OT6 and OT5 where they came out of the gates, they destroyed the lobby completely, and you know, it was a little bit of a joke. I said to Monsoon, you know, what have you got to do to win a tournament? And he said, not win game number 1, because we seem to just lose our heads after that. Yeah. And they kind of work from that. And, you know, for the teams like TSM, the teams like Noble and Rogue, their consistency is what has shone through so far in the Apex Legends Global Series. So we'll have to see if that rings true again here, now that we've entered the summer circuit.
NRG here, Nathan on the Evo shield, 150 left with name, which is plenty. And he's just going to basically chill out, let this Watson ultimate kind of not allow him to waste any resources. He's going to maybe pop one shield cell instead, because they know there's also a team who is holding them at the end. They don't want to get naded since they are left to fight into a corner. Looking for an opening here, and NRG Frex and Nathan will push up in exchange. A nice little tag team back and forth, while Frex looks to heal up in the meanwhile. Thermite out just to pick, doesn't find any ticks, and this could just be enough to move up, find some more open space like this.
Yeah, the difficulty here for NRG is when you're looking at their weaponry in comparison to the team that's shooting against them, it's going to be NRG who have to make the moves forward, not only because of the fact that the circle will be closing behind them, but because they've got R99, Havoc, and shotguns to play with, whereas the other team, they've got that scout that's just pinging away at them as well. So they're going to be in a difficult position here where when they do damage, the call is going to have to come in to make that move, as we actually now jump back over to Silver Fox as Nox, Zach, and Noka have made their way out of that tunnel and are now trying to find a spot to rotate to into that next circle.
And Jubertinsky as well falling down. So it is Jubertinsky and the squad Tenga who are holding back NRG. And now that they know, they may feel, I don't know what they'll feel, either a little bit more confident, or maybe they'll say, well, we've seen the performance thus far. We don't feel like this is a fight we should lose. Let's push up on this. Either way, they're 3v2 now, so it should be Jubertinsky and squad falling back to the wayside. Still no full team wipes as they have pushed back to Sune. As you can see, just kind of hiding here, looking to see, is it worth the ban or is it worth the res, really, for Aimbot Machine, as he pops a shield cell and just tries to get back to full and decide his next step of action.
Yeah, difficulty for him here is the fact that there's 18 squads remaining, so he knows as that ring closes, any movements that he makes aren't going to be seen by so many different pairs of eyes who are going to be looking around for any opportunity to pick up some KP. But for NRG, they're going to be really happy with the fact that they've managed to force this fight and be successful along the way as well. They've only managed to get the one finish, but knowing that player's down and knowing that player's had to retreat gives them that window of opportunity to move into that next circle. And not only that, it gives them a pretty strong position to work from as well. They've got a little bit of height coming out of those tracks, and they'll be able to sort of survey the field and see what teams are set up in different locations, then try and pick their spot to move to.
They have finished Aimbot Machine. It looks like maybe Desune decided to abandon that, just trying to rat it out. We've seen that work for, you know, I think multiple teams here in this lobby so far. Bazookas comes to mind as well in that game 1 rat, I believe, where they achieved maybe 2nd or 3rd place. NRG here underneath. Still trying to level up his Evo shield to level 5, really, and get that through that ultimate red shield.
We're going to see the shots poking in. NRG holding down this position, and they're within the next circle as well, so they haven't got to do too much. What they've got to really do here is try and hold out these teams that are trying to rotate in. As you can see, the ping coming in from Nathan here, just trying to let his teammates know exactly where these teams are going to be pushing, and the team that he's fighting against them is here. And as you can see, with the ring behind them, they might be the team that has to make that move, and that ring is going to be closing. We're going to see that next ring pop up. So this fight could be one of those ones that goes on for longer and longer and longer until they're finally forced to move, and they are going to be forced to move. You can see that big pull there to the east, so difficult position for this team to find themselves in. However, they're going to have to hit some big shots here, and again, a little bit like NRG when they were in that tunnel and in that choke point, they have to do damage and then commit from there.
Sentinels here, the ones looking to maybe commit with a Mastiff. They see one potentially down there, but it's onto them. Lion on Noble, he's finding a couple of kills onto Sentinels. It's not a full wipe yet, but it is very, very close. Still 18 squads on set. This is quite surprising considering how many fights have happened, how many downs have occurred, the amount of ratting that has gone down. Still the kill leader here. Panders looks to fall thanks to Sentinel. Sinox cleaning that up, and finally we will have 17 squads to the name. It is actually going to be Brazuca's team who ends up falling, and now finally Sinox will go down as well to make it 16, putting Noble, Lion actually here at the top as far as the kill leader in this game.
And Stenox did a pretty good job there, even though he was the last man alive, managed to pick up the KP along the way. So if you're in that position, you can manage to, you know, trade your life for at least another player. You're not going to be too disappointed with that, as we do now see NRG finally making this push, having done that damage. And this is what I mean. This is where the coordination comes in. Do the damage and then make your commitment from it, as the Watson is going to be in the lines here of Frex. The EVA 8 shots a little bit whiffy, but his teammates are there to make sure that that doesn't go wrong. And that will be NRG finally winning that battle, clearing out their backs, and now they have a safe position to look ahead of themselves and try and rotate in.
And that was Firo as well, another representative of the South America part of this America Super Regional. And you just got to give it to Brazuca's team, Tenga, and I can see Firo here as well. 3 of our 4 representatives just really making things difficult for a lobby that is already considered with some of the best players in the absolute world, playing at their absolute best here. So got to give credit where credit is due. However, 13 squads left. We finally eliminated a few of the solos, a few of the duos that have been hanging around. The McCarthy brothers, Shiny, he finds a nice kill, and Gabizmon will actually take down Snipe down of Rogue. And so that is not boding well for Game 1 winners here in this Super Regional.
Yeah, and you can see Drop desperately trying to get out of dodge as well. He's going to pop those cells, and with that gold armor as well, he's going to be able to get his health back up to a fairly decent complement. And Sweet's doing his best to try and follow him to a position as well. But for Rogue, as you say, currently sat at 3rd place in the leaderboards. Not the best of things for them. And just look at that kill feed now as that ring moves in. So many teams drop in. But one team that is still in a fantastic position here, as you would expect, rotating from Fragment East, is, of course, TSM holding down this position under this rock. And, of course, you have Imperial How on a full red Evo as well.
And where we've seen TSM be successful is this, their positioning. Not only are they some of the most undoubtedly skilled players mechanically in the game, and have always been since they entered into the scene, but positioning, they have really focused on it. And just as we mentioned it, it's almost like the curse. As they go to loot, they put themselves in a horrible position, and all 3 of them lose about 80% of their health, and they're forced to use the Rep's ultimate. It's not enough, though. Rebel 6 with the G7 Scout takes down Abrelelli. Imperial House sliding in. He goes into the void, but will he find solace here behind this rock? They know who they have downed. They know that this is a big kill if they can do it. And right now, 7 squads still remaining. So what a play. Could they somehow come back alive from this after the portal and the down member falls going into there as well?
Yeah, they tried to use that zip line to get that loot. You saw the armor on TSM when they made that move, and you can understand exactly why they did it. They didn't have the best armor going into these final circles, so look to upgrade and maybe give themselves a better opportunity, but they didn't realize that Smile would be in the position to put those shots down. And it looks like at the moment that player was not finished, Abrelelli. So it's going to be a position where a TSM should be up to a full complement. And you have to give huge credit to Hal and the way that he managed to find a safe position from that pressurized position to not only get into a position where he could actually stay alive, but also get his teammate through the portal and stay alive.
Absolutely. And right now, you know, Smile, he's going to look to maybe see if he could set up a portal, not only for right now, but for late game, just to get in a better position to poke, apply pressure to TSM, who they know is right there. Gold shield, thermite burning. This could be a down, and oh no, it is Kubsky who is falling thanks to knock. Bowser, he finds minions. They're getting rotated on as well, who they've been trying to push onto that new portal, and it is not going to work for them. It's going to be Smile going down, and it is Rebel 6 pushing in with the strength. And this is something that they want to maintain throughout the rest of this lobby. 4 squads left on set, and the Havoc starts raining from Zach.
Yeah, Zach putting some beautiful shots in with that Havoc. You can see they've got a position of height here, but there's 3 teams that they've got to contest with here. So they've got to take their time, work out where every single team is located before they try and push in. Whereas you can see the McCarthy brothers and BCJ, also one of the teams that are in this lobby, and one of the teams that are in the lobby that are currently leading the leaderboards is the Yeet squad as well. So now we're going to see the battle going down between Silver Fox and TSM. Reps will be taken down there by Zach, but look at the unfortunate situation they find themselves in, and now it is going to be TSM who actually managed to win that battle. Abrelelli getting the finish onto Zach, but that's just going to trigger the rest of the lobby to try and engage now.
Born through the fire and the flames. TSM have battled up and down, but it seems like Bowser is going to be the one who ends up taking them down as of now. Nice wig, and the Yeet squad trying to yeet their way into a victory after it was claimed from them last game as well. R99 spraying to the right side, and Bowser using the boxes to his advantage like the dungeon boss we know him to be. Imperial How, can he do it a 1v3 against the Yeet squad? Yeet! He can't hit the master fast enough, and it is still going to be Nice Wig and Yeet squad coming through with the victory. They earned it. They deserved it. They played for it. And after that second place finish, they are now going ahead and staying at the top of this lobby in the Americas Super Regional.
Yeah, what a push from them to close that game out. No regrets. Complete aggression. They managed to turn it on when they had to there, but credit to TSM as well, getting that second place. Again, being incredibly consistent, which is the secret to success, especially in what was a very awkward position for them towards that late game with Albolelli getting down. So congratulations to both of those teams. But Yeet Squad, I mean, how good have these guys been? They have been phenomenal so far. They've managed to pick up a first place, another first place here in this game number 3. I mean, there's nothing more for us to say. We're going to throw it back over to the ladies on the desk. JJ, take it away.
Thank you so much, guys. Wow, Yeet Squad. I'm very, very impressed. We have a lot to unpack there. I know Nicewig dropped, I think, 7 kills last game in match 2, so I'm very eager to see what that kill count is for, really for the entire squad here after match 3. We'll pull up the graphic in just a second, but there is an elephant in the room that we have to address. Jayla, what happened to Complexity this match?
Man, they were the first team to go out. I was sad to see it because they literally just won a game. They took a fight in the very beginning that I felt like they were prepared for. Maybe when we were listening in on the comms, we could hear they were having a few issues on their side, maybe with an internet connection. But I felt like they were prepared for that fight. But like we were saying, high risk, high reward when you're taking fights, when you're running a hunt on the lobby for kills. That's just part of it. That's just something that comes with it. Sometimes you just die early, and that was them. I was hoping to see a strong performance from them because I have been rooting for them for a while because they do have a different play style than everybody else. But it's just one game. It doesn't mean they can't win. It doesn't mean that the next game won't be good. So unfortunately, this just wasn't a good game for them.
Yeah, and that is one of the conversations that we were having is, okay, well, it is just one game. There are 5 total. They've still been playing really well the first 2 matches, and we did that listen in, and we did hear, I think it was Monsoon saying that he was catching some lag, so we could say, okay, maybe it was just, maybe you can blame it on the lag, maybe it was just an off moment, and I hope that they can bring it back and turn it back around. But I believe we're going to take a look at the scores, the standings from that last match, see which teams ended up which places. Or, oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? That was my bad. I was incorrect. I was just so excited to see where all the other teams shook down after Complexity's unfortunate 20th place finish in that match. Actually, first what we're going to do is we are going to take a second look at that final moment featuring Yeet Squad. I did not see exactly what that kill count was, but, you know, we'll get to that in a second. What did you think of those final moments with Yeet Squad, Jayla?
I think that they've been playing really well throughout this entire tournament so far. Last time I didn't do very well, but this time they're performing really well, and I was actually impressed to see them win because one of their teammates actually went down at the end, but they've been very aggressive and it's paying off. They've been stacking kills and getting good placement, so I'm excited to see like where they're placed at. In my opinion, the Complexity was the only team that was close to what they were touching, so I think that they are number 1 at the moment.
Well, it's time to find out what I've been excited for, which is the placements from Game 3. So I know I teased this before. I was just so excited, and there it is. Yeet Squad has 10 kills. I knew it was going to be quite a lot. I didn't know exactly how many it would be. TSM coming in at second with 3 kills. So, you know, it's so interesting to me, once again, how we keep seeing such a variety between the number of kills that all these teams are getting. But let's take a look at the overall standings and see how Game 3 has affected those results. Wow! 54 points.
Wow.
Yeet Squad, what are you doing? Jayla, can anyone touch these guys?
I have no idea. They are literally 21 points ahead. That is actually insane. It is going to take some hard hitters like Complexity to come through, get the kills and the placements.
So what you're telling me is that Complexity cannot have another showing like they had during match 3. The onus is on them. The burden is on them to rack up the kills because Yeet Squad is racking them up. Wow, 54 points. I wouldn't even know how to do the math to see how many points and how many kills other teams would need to get to even come near touching Yeet Squad. But let's take a look at some of the other highlight-worthy moments from match 3. Looks like this is very early.
Unfortunately, this is the fight that that Complexity got into. Yeah, Complexity went down in this fight. This is the early fight that they took, and unfortunately, they did not make it out of there alive.
We are zeroing in on Energy, making some moves here. But is it going to be enough? Energy, they're always one of those teams that you can kind of consistently expect them to play well.
These were the final moments with Nice Squad, with the Yeet Squad. Yeah. They lost a teammate at the end, but they were able to, they were still just as aggressive as if they had 3 people in their team and they were able to get that win. So I'm pretty proud of these guys because the performance that they had last tournament wasn't that great, but they came into this one still feeling confident and they're performing well.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's right. They're absolutely performing well, top in the standings. And after 3 matches, they've got to be feeling pretty good. I mean, I honestly don't even know what to expect out of them for the next 2 matches. But, Nicewig is a player that I feel like we talk a lot about because I've seen some of his personality and he seems like the nicest, humblest guy. So we did put together a little something for you guys. So take a look.
My play style is aggressive yet strategic. I'll play for zones more than I'll play for kills. My name is Jack Martin, also known as Nicewig. I am a controller professional player on PC. For Counterlogic Gaming, I was the first controller player ever signed to a Tier 1 organization, and I'm also known as the guy who Dizzy hosted.
I'm playing with Dizzy? What is going on?
Dizzy was like one of the biggest pioneers for Apex when it first started out. But right before a week I was about to quit, we did a glitch, and I couldn't talk because I ripped my mic out of excitement. Right when he hosted me, I kind of just hysterically cried.
It's crazy, man. This is actually the craziest moment of my life.
It just literally meant so much to me. We joined, I out-damaged him and out-killed him 1 game. And then he found out I was on controller. He was like, what? This kid plays controller? He's like, he's insane.
Let's go!
I was one of the first ones to prove that controller players could keep up with PC players. Because when Apex first came out, all the big streamers, all the big names that were playing weren't touching a controller. PC players have the advantage over us, so I think people were kind of mind blown that I was like overcoming that disadvantage and still killing like the top players. Watch my hand cam. I move my hands really fast. The speed that I move everything at and like the intensity I play at. So I think that's why I break a lot of controllers.
I just broke my controller wire. Mouse and keyboard time. I play mouse and keyboard, I play mouse and keyboard, I play mouse and keyboard.
What makes the difference between like a streamer that's like